we'll spend the next 10 minutes to talk about digitalization and new technology opportunities in the healthcare. What I can tell you from the start is that the previous speaker said that the pediatric society in Slovenia is a strong one. I can tell you about Croatia. The Society for School and University Medicine is the strong one in Croatia. Okay, so digitalization in Croatia started in 2011. There was a big wave in different sectors of the healthcare, but with one difference. The only society or professional body that had any idea and had a vision was Society for School and University Medicine in Croatia. And their vision was very simple. They wanted to use existing knowledge, so they didn't throw away whatever was done before. There were some islands of digitalization, and basically they wanted to use that knowledge. Second, we used the opportunity to standardize processes, because there were slightly different processes in different regions of Croatia. The third one, they decided to be the focal point of development in the future. So the society as a professional body was the one that started and continued to be the focal body. And the last one, and most important I would say, was that they said we have a national guidelines that are more or less generic, that fits everybody, but we want to expand, and we want to cover everything what the school and university medicine is doing. And basically by the end of 2011, we had the teams up and running, and there was one unique provision in the contract with the regional health insurance, public care institutions. And that was, if there's any professional questions, the one that is deciding is the society. So we have one focal point for all the questions. Whatever comes from the help desk about ideas or changes that want to be done in the software, it's forwarded to the society. Or the society itself has some ideas, they make a decision, they say how it should be implemented, and that's basically the way how it is done. So we have society-led software development, and this is unique in Croatia, and I would say in some other countries as well. So basically, as it started in 2011, society continued, and all what was done in the last 11 years was done for the society. All new changes, all new implementation, all new features, everything was done with the guidance of the society. And that helped a lot. So we didn't have different versions of the software. We didn't have different practices. We have one and only one practice in Croatia for the university and school medicine. And the point about development, it's easy to develop the software. Maybe it sounds hard, but it's basically easy. The problem is how to standardize. And this is basically what was done in Croatia, and especially through the evolving national guidelines. Still, society was one step ahead and expanded functionality to everything that school and university medicine needs. So basically, we started in 2011. Now we will go a little bit back in the past, so we can predict the future. So let's turn the time machine on and go to 1995. Think for a second, what were you doing in 1995? Did you use, for example, email? Or were you browsing the internet in 1995? Me, myself, I was a student at the university, and I was a little bit bored. So besides my studies, I was doing a little bit of the programming. I did some first websites in Croatia ever, and I did a little bit of writing. So this is my article from October 1995, where I was trying to predict what would happen with the internet. And these are my predictions. As you can see, I would say that I was, let's say, some form of wizard, and my predictions came all today when we talk about it looks normal. But remember, it was 1995. And maybe I was able to predict 1995, but what about future? Let's try to predict future and meet, let's say, in 10 years' time at the School and University Medicine Congress and see what will be, was it right or not. So, the new technology that I want to talk to you is the blockchain. It's a new in a way, everything needs time. So this started in 1991, but it took a long time to actually come to the production. So from 1991 to 2008, there was not much happening. In 2008, a person, a group of the person called themselves Satoshi Nakamoto, described the first digital currency Bitcoin. And from 2009 we had Bitcoin up and running. Just to get an idea, just an overview, what the blockchain is to understand how maybe we can use it in the healthcare. So first and foremost, it's relying on the transactions. So you have the transactions. For example, imagine that all of you write in your software something about your patients, and then it gets written to the block. So the block is a set of transactions. Once the block is written, it's distributed through all servers in the world. So for example, for Ethereum, which is the largest blockchain network for the programming, you have 7,000 servers that are duplicated. So if you're talking about the safety of the data, nothing is safer than 7,000 servers throughout the world. Second, everything is digitally signed. One of the major blocks, building blocks of the blockchain is signing. What does it mean? You cannot change it. So if I wrote today anything about the patient or anything about any information, it's signed and it's not changeable. I can later on say, okay, I'm going to change, this record was incorrect, but I cannot delete it and I cannot run it. And this is something that is very, very important. Second, or third, is the point that you can write and you can say who can see the data. So you can say everyone can see the data, or you can give specific permissions to see the data. And the last, and I would say most important, there is no central entity. So as for example, for Ethereum, there are 7,000 servers throughout the world at this point, and it will grow. That means that if you are, for example, in Portugal, we are going to connect to the closest server in Portugal. If we are here now in Croatia, we are going to connect to the closest server in Croatia and we can write data. When it's written, it's automatically, and it's a business on its own, it's automatically dispersed in all servers. So if you go back to the healthcare, this is yesterday information, so it was published yesterday. And the information says that California, state of California, is going to pass in the next week's legislation to allow vital records. One of them is the birth certificate to be published on the blockchain. Why is that interesting to us? Because in the Anglo-Saxon countries, unlike most of the Europe, you don't have national ID cards. Most of the citizens don't have passports. So what do they have? The basic building block is the birth certificate, and the birth certificate in the United States is issued by the Department of Public Health. With the birth certificate, then you go when you're of the age, you get the driving license. So the birth certificate is the most important document in the Anglo-Saxon countries. And if such a document with the private information is allowed now or in the next few weeks to be published on the blockchain, that means revolution. If you can publish birth certificates, basically you can publish everything you want. Just through numbers to understand. So in the first half of 2022, 40 billion US dollars was invested in the crypto industry. Some of them, of course, in the health, some of them, of course, something else. But the point that so much money is invested in only 6 months show us that people see, and very smart people by that, who has money, they see there is a potential, and something will be more of that. There is no way that if you invest in 6 months, and imagine how much was it in the last 3 years since, for example, the COVID started. So many investments, there will be lots of usage, and some of them will be in the healthcare. And remember COVID. The fastest ever digital transformation in healthcare. Most of them, not only in the healthcare, but healthcare was the primary target. Most of the things that were not possible to be done for 10 years and 20 years have been done in 2 months or 3 months. And this is where the future belongs. We shouldn't be afraid to innovate. We shouldn't be afraid to try something new and to see where it leads. And now a little bit about the ideas. What can be used for the blockchain in health? And some of those ideas we're already working on. So one of the major ideas, what I said, is basically digital identity. So for example, imagine there is no more user and passwords. You don't have any more 50 user and passwords, you have only one. Second, improving drug supply chain. Imagine that you can trace everything on the blockchain. Clinical trial directly connected to the patients. Health ID card. Why we need health ID card? Health record at the end. Why we don't put some of the health record on the blockchain? And the main important thing is patient consent management, because they can access their data and they can give access to someone or withdraw access. So they can even reuse their own information. Payments, logically, and revenue recycle, you can reuse your information. It's there, it's not lost, it's not sent somewhere else where you don't have a reach. It's basically here. Those are some ideas. I don't have a lot of time, so if you want, you can catch it later. The idea is that basically we are not afraid to innovate. So if you have any ideas for digital transformation, please contact us, and we love to innovate. Thank you.